Elon Musk is threatening to sue the Anti-Defamation League for defamation. I love this story so much. Been meaning to get to it for a few days now. It's just been simmering, and it gets better and better and better. The Anti-Defamation League is a group ostensibly founded to stop anti-Semitism, to stop hatred against the Jewish people and smears against the Jewish people. That's not really what it does. I mean, I guess that's part of what it does, but the Anti-Defamation League will happily attack fellow Jews if those Jews happen to be conservative or happen to question the liberal narrative. So the Anti-Defamation League will happily attack libs of TikTok, an Orthodox Jewish woman, because she doesn't toe the party line. And the Anti-Defamation League will talk about things that have nothing to do with the Jews whatsoever, just plain old, regular old left-wing nonsense. And the way that they do it is by bandying around this accusation of anti-Semitism, just a specific version of the race card, which is the biggest card you can play in America. It's the worst thing you can possibly be called. And they say, hey, if you oppose Hillary Clinton, you're an anti-Semite. Hey, if you don't like Joe Biden, you're an anti-Semite. Hey, if you don't allow us to censor your platform, we're going to call you an anti-Semite. In fact, the Anti-Defamation League has sent out threats. This is documented. We have letters, threats to, I think there was one that they sent to Iceland. But they've done this a number of times where they will say, hey, I bet you sure wouldn't like it if we called you a Nazi, whether or not the accusation is fair. So you better toe the line. They'll threaten to lie about people. So it was a really awful organization. And Elon Musk came out, he himself having been defamed by the ADL, and said, to clear our platform's name on the matter of anti-Semitism, it looks like we have no choice but to file a defamation lawsuit against the Anti-Defamation League. Oh, the irony. Love it. So absolutely go after the ADL. You should go after some of the other groups too, though. It's not just the ADL. It's groups like Right Wing Watch, which is a project of People for the American Way, which is one of the most ironically named groups in America because it is a handful of elites for a very un-American way. There are several others out there where these groups exist. They're watching the show right now, and they try to clip out little pieces of the show and get us all fired, and they try to censor people on social media. My only request, as we take down all of these left-wing censor groups and we actually wield political power, because there's no such thing as a neutral public square, there's no such thing as a neutral political order. We're going to have to stand for something or other. We're going to have to push certain people out to the fringes, and I absolutely think we've got to push these liberal censors out to the fringes. My one request to Elon, though, is as we take them all down, please don't take down my publicists at Media Matters. I have had a very good working relationship with Media Matters for many years now. They watch my show every day. They're watching it now. They clip out some of the best parts of my show, and then I get to retweet them, and they get a lot more eyeballs on my work. So please, take down the ADL, take down Right Wing Watch, do whatever you want. But please, I have no interest in finding a new set of publicists. Now, I also have no interest in going out and replacing my propane tank, which is why it's such a great thing that we've got Cinch. Right now, head on over to cinch.com, use code Knowles. Have you ever craved a nice, juicy barbecue meal with the family? Say you go to the store, get all the groceries, you invite the family over. It's going to be a fun time, right? But then you go to turn on the grill and your propane tank is completely empty. Well, that's where Cinch comes in to save the day. Cinch is a propane grill tank home delivery service. They deliver propane grill tanks right to your door. Cinch delivers on your schedule and requires no long-term commitment or subscription. Plus, delivery is completely contactless. You don't have to wait around at home. You track the order on the Cinch app from anywhere, whether you're grilling steaks or lighting up the patio heaters on a cold night. Cinch's propane delivery service ensures that you have the fuel you need to make the most of every moment. Go online to cinch.com or download the Cinch app to order. New customers can get their first tank exchange for just $10 with promo code Knowles, K-N-W-L-E-S. That's cinch.com or download the Cinch app. Use promo code Knowles to get your first tank exchange for just $10. It's a limited time offer. You must live within a Cinch service area to redeem it. Go to cinch.com/offer for details. So Elon opens himself up by threatening to sue the Anti-Defamation League. Guess how the ADL responds? You know how the ADL is going to respond, and the head of the ADL, Jonathan Greenblatt, they're going to say that any attempt to stop them from censoring the American public square is, drum roll, anti-Semitism.
Were you seeking to have some kind of either role at Twitter or any kind of donations made or other things?
No.
I only say that because there have been folks who've looked at these situations and felt that they were being shaken down.
Look, I think, let me be honest about that, right? I think it is sort of anti-Semitic trope to suggest when Jewish people express a degree of outrage over anti-Semitism, that somehow that's a shakedown because Jews are greedy.
So the answer to the question is obviously yes. Obviously, Greenblatt and the ADL were seeking a role in censoring Twitter. The way that we know that, Elon Musk showed this, is that ADL started its boycott of Twitter. ADL is largely responsible for the drop in Twitter revenue after Elon Musk took over. And we know that the ADL launched its anti-Twitter campaign the moment that Elon took over. So the moment Elon takes over, nothing changes in the service of Twitter. Over time, he's implemented some changes, but nothing changes the moment that he takes over. But the ADL starts the shakedown. The ADL starts the harassment campaign in order to do what? To just have fun on a Saturday afternoon? No, in order to get a seat at the table and have a role in shaping the content of Twitter. And he says he's doing it in the name of stopping anti-Semitism or whatever. But that's obviously not. I want to be as charitable as possible. Maybe that's a part of the ADL's mission. I'm somewhat skeptical. But certainly the mission is not merely that. How could you argue that trying to shut up one of the most prominent Orthodox Jewish women in the entire country is a good way to stop anti-Semitism? It would seem to be maybe an example of anti-Semitism. A self-hating sort of anti-Semitic campaign. I'm getting lost in the inception of it all. Yeah, that's what it is. And so what does he do? When he gets caught, his eyes open wide. He's, oh, no, I didn't. You're an anti-Semite for even asking that. And this is, of course, the case. Accusations of racism are always so cheap. They're so cheap, including the specific case of accusations of anti-Semitism, but anything, anti-black, anti-Hispanic, anti-this, anti-that, other than anti-white. You're not allowed to even suggest that prospect in our culture. The only group that you're legally and culturally permitted and encouraged to discriminate against and insult. You're not even allowed to bring up the prospect of that. But for any other group, it comes out and it's always so cheap. I remember David Webb. I've brought this example up before. David Webb is black conservative. He was on the radio. He was interviewing a black woman who's a liberal. And when he was winning the debate, she just said, well, that's your white privilege showing, David. Because it was radio and she didn't know what he looked like. He just started laughing. He said, that's not going to work on me, lady. So what do we do in the face of this, in these cheap accusations of racism that are totally disingenuous? They're in bad faith. What is our response to that? Is our response to care and to beg and to say, no, please don't, I'm not a racist. Some of my best friends are black Muslim pygmies or whatever, whatever kind of group is considered the most oppressed? No, I don't think so. You're not going to convince them. They don't care. The argument is not in good faith. Then is the alternative to just be really mean and cruel and discriminatory against all sorts of different groups to become what they accuse us of? No, I don't think that's the answer either. The answer is, first, stop caring when they call you a racist or an anti-Semite or an anti-thisist or a phobic or whatever. Just stop caring. It's not real. They don't mean it. They just don't like you and they want to shut you up. So stop caring, first of all. But then there is a flip side to that too, which is make sure that you orient yourself toward justice and charity. Those are going to be a lot better guides than anti-racism or being an ally against the phobia or a thisism or a that. Just orient yourself toward justice and charity and pursue the virtues and avoid the vices and avail yourself of God's grace and in all things act with justice and charity and then ignore the noise. Who cares about that stuff? Boy, what a great clip that was. Now make sure that you ring that bell, subscribe to the Michael Knowles YouTube channel. We'll see you next time.